welcome back. It's Amanda. I want to show you a new painting, but I have a new idea. Before I start painting, I want to try to make a paint with this Pearl Ex Pigment because I have been using Pearl Ex Pigment in a couple of behind the scenes videos that I will share at a later time for you, where I've mixed Pearl Ex in my varnish and it's turned out really nice. So I want to try to mix some of it in with some pouring medium to see if I can make a paint out of it, because if I can, if it turns out well and it doesn't crack and it looks nice and I can figure out how much to put in, then I want to order some of the this little piggy, like the TLP, this little piggy pigments. I want to order some of those, but I have this first to try and see how it works out, and see, like, if it doesn't work, see if I know how to make it better, like to work next time, because I'm hoping that it works so that I can order some of those pigments. I have some other colors that I'm going to use too, and I'm going to use this 5-channel split cup. I'm going to use Enchanted Forest, which is kind of a greenish color. It's kind of a teal color, but whenever I've painted with it before, it always reads as green in the painting, like next to the other colors. And my favorite one of these Master's Touch dark blue colors is Sapphire, because it has just a little bit of like a brightness to it as well. I like the navy, and I have a bunch of other blue shades too, but for like a dark blue, I love this. The navy works well with certain colors, but I use Sapphire more than navy. And I just want to add a little bit of white because these colors are kind of dark, and I don't want it to be dark all over, so I'm going to use a little bit of white. And then this pigment is Duo Blue Green, and I've used it in varnishing a piece that had a lot of blues and greens and turquoisey colors, and it just brought a sparkle to the painting. So I'm hoping that if I mix it, I'm not going to mix it the same as how I mix paints, like out of a tube. And my last video, I tried mixing a paint out of the tube with a different mixture than what I've used before, so that I could match the consistency to the pre-mixed pouring paints, because they're a little bit thinner than how I use tube paints normally. So I'm gonna try to mix it with the same things, my Golden Airbrush Medium, to kind of thin it down enough to match the consistency. But I'm going to use GAC800 for my, my base of my pouring medium. I do have Floetrol and I do have Liquitex pouring medium, and whenever I do tube paints, like, I don't know, that sounds weird. Whenever I do like normal paints, like normal acrylic paints that aren't pre-mixed for pouring, I use Floetrol, GAC800, Liquitex pouring medium, and a little bit of the airbrush medium. But just to try to match my pouring paints, I've decided to use just the GAC800 and the airbrush medium. And right now I need, I forgot to get a little stick to get the pigment out with. I'm gonna, if this works and I order from Fluid Art Co. for the TLP pigments, I'm gonna get their little silicone spatula things, like for getting the pigment out and starting with it, but I don't have those yet. So let me go get a little stick to get my pigment out, and I'll be right back. Okay, first of all, I want to turn on my scale. I want to use my scale for this so that in the future I know roughly the ratio. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to start with the GAC800 and just measure some out, and then measure out probably half that amount of the airbrush medium, and then I can adjust from there for the consistency and whenever I put the pigment in and stuff. I've never done this before, to use the pigment to make a paint, like a fluid paint. So this is all trial and error for me, and I'll have to just see how it goes and make changes as necessary. Okay, so we have 30 grams of the GAC800, so I don't know if that's Why don't I put some pigment in and stir it up and then add some of the airbrush medium? Because last time, whenever I did it with a paint, I used 1-to-1 paint and that, and then half of the airbrush. I probably need more than what I've used for putting it in my varnish. So I don't know, I really don't know how much this is, but maybe with the scale it can tell me. It's not even a gram. So, well, it might be because it won't tell me. This scale doesn't tell me until I get up to, hold on, there's something in there. This scale won't tell me until I get up to about 6 grams. But I'll just put 2 tiny little scoops in and I'll stir it up. I don't want to stir with that in case I need to get more. This little whisk. I'll stir it and see what it looks like and then see if I need more. And then I can add. I should have done airbrush medium first, I think. It might have dispersed easier in the airbrush medium. So now I've learned that already. But it looks really pretty so far. Maybe I just needed 1 scoop. It's way more blue than whenever I put it with varnish. So that's nice. The consistency is not too bad, really. I'm gonna pull it closer to me so I can see while I stir. And I do have a little bit of fallout, but that's expected with a powder. That's really pretty. I know I've seen some other artists use TLP and they've used, I think alcohol, but I'm a little bit afraid to do that. I don't know what else other people have used, but I want to attempt it with this first because this is what I already have. And then I hope that I can get it to work so that I can order some of those little piggy pigments because they're really pretty. And they have so much variety in colors available in this little piggy. That's actually a nice consistency because it seems thin enough to not leave any mounds or anything. And I don't think that my pouring paint does, so I may not need the airbrush medium. It feels a little bit thick though. Huh. Give me a second. Now I'm afraid to add the airbrush medium because that consistency seems really good. But that's not quite enough paint either for my pour, but I think that this might work. So let me put a little bit more GAC800 in here because I need more paint. Okay, I tried to get 30 again, but I got 31, but that's okay. And now I can stir some more and see if I need to add more pigment or not. It's making it a lot lighter now, but as that dries, that whiteness will go away. I'm trying to make sure I have enough because I want to use 2 channels full of this color in my split cup. I'm going to add just a little bit more. I know that GAC800 is white and as it dries it will dry clear, but I want just a little bit more pigment since I added more GAC800. I think I need a little bit more. Just trying to scrape in all this stuff from the sides and everything. Honestly, 1 or 2 scoops was probably enough, but I really like how that looks right now. And it's very thin, so I don't need the airbrush medium. And I'm going to clean this up, move all this out of the way, and get my canvas over here. And no, actually I'm gonna fill my cup next, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and fill the 2 slots right here where I want this to make sure I have enough and make sure I don't have to mix up some more. Those look kind of low, like maybe I needed a little bit more, but I normally use more paint than I need, so I think it'll be okay. It's still so pretty, I don't want to wash that out, but I'm gonna have to. Okay, I also want, like I said, Sapphire and the Enchanted Forest. I'm using the blue and the green because this is a blue-green color shifting pigment. And I always forget that the Sapphire is a little bit thicker than some of my other colors. And I really probably should put a dab of airbrush medium in there, but I never think about it until after I've used it. Enchanted Forest. There might be a little bit more of the blue and the green, and that's okay, actually. I didn't mean to do that much green, but it's okay. And I always forget how thick that blue is. My next one, this one's almost empty, so the next one will probably be better. And then we'll put some white in the middle. I actually think I'm gonna put a white base coat down too, and move this to settle. I haven't been using base coats for a while, but it will help the paints, the pattern that comes out, it will help the pattern hold instead of rolling over itself. Wish I could find a way to get that out and use it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do my pour. That's not completely level. It was, but then I did the sides. But that's okay, it doesn't have to be. I need to start like using scrape off or old paints for that base coat, but I didn't think about that in advance. I just realized I want a base coat down there today because I haven't used one for a while. But I'm just gonna pour and add music, and I'll be back to talk to you at the end. Okay, I know that wasn't ideal and it was going lopsided way more than I wanted, but there's a lot of paint now since I have that base coat. Huh. And this thing isn't level today, I don't know why. I don't think it has been for a while. Let's do a gentle spin and then see. Maybe the base coat wasn't a good idea because that looks very strange right there. Spin again. really very interesting. It has a different look to it than what I normally get with these, and I don't know if it's from that pigment that I tried to make into a paint, or if it's from having a base coat, or both. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave just a little bit of this white and blue like over on this side, or if I want to stretch it over here too and kind of have it going diagonally across. But it kind of looks like it's going straight across this way. I could tilt some that way and just make that in the middle. There is enough paint that I need to tilt or spin some more, so I'm just trying to look at it and figure out what I want to do. I think I just want to spin again. That's going to spread that white and that blue as well. And it's going to be more natural looking. Yeah, that's spread it enough that it went across on its own. It looks really weird. Hold on a minute. I think I'm gonna leave it like this and see how it dries. I don't think there's too much paint left on there at this time, and it's pretty evened out with the paint. It shouldn't end up cracking. It shouldn't have too many different levels of layers of paint, like where some is barely covering the canvas and some has a whole lot, like some of my pieces have lately. I think it has a pretty even coverage. So it looks very strange to me right now, but I do kind of like it. And I think this is one, it's completely different than anything I've done before. It's the same technique I've used before. And I don't know if it's just from trying to mix a paint with pigment that makes it so strange, or it's just the result. It looks very different than most of my pieces. So I'm very curious how it's going to dry. Normally I save these drips for necklaces, but this is very green, like mostly green. So I'm going to try to move this just a little bit and go get another one. Actually, I think I'll just use this cup here and scrape up the leftover paint and scrape this all up and put it in there. And I can use that for a base coat for another time. It is a little bit unlevel because I can't quite get it level on this thing. So hopefully it doesn't run too much, and hopefully it stays pretty similar. I'll hit it with heat really quickly, but I have to be careful with this because I think in the past I've heated too much. I was just trying to pop any little bubbles that I may have had. I still might see like little tiny ones, but I'm gonna leave it here and I'll take you for the close-up after I've scraped up the paint and cleaned everything up a little bit. So let me know what you think. I'll be back in just a second. Here's the close-up. I think it's really interesting. It looks really different to me from away or even up close. Just those little speckles of like that dark blue through that green and the white. I can't really see the light blue a whole lot until I get more around the white and down towards the bottom. If it goes this way, I don't know what way it goes. It looks different. It looks kind of strange and speckly. I don't know. I think I like it right now because it's so different. I'll see how it dries and then I'll make my final decision whether I like it or not, or whether this works or not, and whether I need to change it up, like the ratio at all, or anything like that. The sides look very different, kind of speckled and very pale. I don't know if that's because maybe I didn't use enough pigment in that light blue, or if it's because I put that white base coat and it tamed everything down. Sorry. But I still think it looks very interesting nonetheless. And then, of course, I will try to do another video when this is dry to put at the end, but it is Tuesday evening, and I do try to put my videos up Wednesday, and it may not be dry by tomorrow. So for this one, I may have to save my dry result for the beginning of the next video, or I may have to do a separate video. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you think this might dry, and what I could have done differently. I like the colors. It's just very, I'm intrigued. It's different, so it's interesting to me. I can't wait to see how it dries. Let me know what you think. Thanks as always for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye. Here's the dry result. I'll go in and show you the details. I got distracted last time I started filming this. I'll try to move it after I show you all of this to see if there's any kind of sparkle from that pigment that I used. There should be, but I'm not quite seeing it right now. But I think this is a great candidate for a piece where I add the pigment to my varnish too. And I can use the same pigment that I used to make that lighter blue shade in this painting, and I think it'll go over really nice together. I love this. The effects are so different on anything I've done before, and I think it has to be from that pigment that's just mixed with the GAC800, because I've never done that before. It just has these really trippy wavy lines, and then you can see some of the darker and lighter shades just kind of in little pieces all over the whole painting. So I love how this turned out, and it actually didn't crack. So I did a great job at getting all of the paint level that was left on the surface. I didn't leave spots that had more paint and spots that had less paint or anything. I love how it looks good from this direction, but if I go around on the other side, it looks good from that way too. I'm going to be blocking the sun as I do this, but it looks good this way too. I don't know, I kind of like it the other way though, because it looks like the lighter part is at the top, so maybe it's kind of like this. It reminds me of water, and it reminds me of the sun setting over water, or maybe they're clouds or fog or something. This part up here was kind of white-ish as it was drying, but now that it's dry, it's not quite as white. And I'd say it was from the sections of just the GAC800 with pigment that made it look lighter, and as it dried, the pigment is probably all that's visible. And I think all these little speckly spots and little wavy lines are probably from that one mixed with the pigment. I don't know if I used enough or not enough, or too much. I don't know if I do it again, if I will get the same ratio, because I don't know how to measure the pigment. I don't know if I should have added something else to it, like Floetrol or something else. I don't know. I want to try it again with another color of pigment with the GAC800 in a different piece to see if I get similar results. So that's probably what my next one's gonna be. But that's it for this one. Thanks as always for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye. I want to see if there's any kind of shimmer from the pigment that was in this one. These pre-mixed pouring paints from Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby are really shiny anyway, so part of that shine may be just from those paints, but part of it may be from the pigment. I don't know. Trying to pick it up, but I'm not sure if everything's completely dry, so I don't know how much of it I can touch to hold. But I think it dried really nicely, and I really like the effects on this one, so I can't wait to try it again with another color and see what happens.